Have you ever found yourself staring into nothingness, feeling everything and at the same time feeling nothing at all? Perhaps what you're feeling isn't sadness. Perhaps it's something deeper, a subtle but constant absence, a weariness that comes from the soul and not from the body. The soul has been captive for a long time and yearns for a sound that comes from home. Rumi. But what if you've forgotten what that sound is like? Nothing touches you anymore. The songs that once gave you goosebumps now go unnoticed. The people who once charmed you now only generate noise. You talk, smile, work, deliver, survive, but deep down, it all seems like a theater without emotion. It's not that you're empty, it's because you've disconnected from the only thing that truly matters, yourself. And here's a truth that few have the courage to face. You can have everything and still feel nothing, because true joy doesn't come from outside. It is born from the soul, and yours perhaps has been trying to call to you for a long time. You can feel it in the silence before falling asleep, that moment when you look in the mirror and no longer recognize yourself, in that inner space where, even surrounded by people, you feel profoundly alone. Perhaps what you feel isn't sadness, but the pain of being disconnected from yourself. And this has a name: existential emptiness. A silent pain that screams inside those who are tired of pretending to be okay. For those who have tried everything: therapy, relationships, spirituality, fast food, but nothing seems to be working. Because you don't need any more distractions. You need return home. And home in Rumi's universe is the soul. You feel like you've lost something, but perhaps what you lost was you. The most authentic, most vibrant, most present version. The one who laughed alone, who cried without fear, who was moved by a sunset. The one who didn't need much to feel everything. Where did she go? You might ask yourself, why does nothing bring me joy anymore? And that question hurts, because deep down, you remember what it was like to live with a sparkle in your eyes. But are you truly ready to remember? Are you willing to face the truth that no one has told you? The truth that Rumi whispers between the lines of his poems. The truth that can free your soul from the captivity it has built for itself? So it stays. Stay until the end. Because perhaps at this very moment your soul is about to hear a sound it recognizes. A sound that comes from within. And it all begins when you stop running away. And finally it begins too to hear what has always been there, within the silence. But before we continue, I want to ask you something that may seem simple, but it has profound value. If at any point this video touches something in you, if you feel that this pain I'm describing is yours, write it in the comments below. I want to reconnect with my soul, because sometimes just by writing, something starts to stir inside. It's like you're opening a door, a silent but powerful choice. The choice to no longer run away from yourself. Leave your like now, not out of vanity, but in order for this video to reach more people who, like you, may be feeling lost, tired, emotionally empty, people who need to understand that they are not alone. If this topic resonates with you, if this search for meaning and reconnection is part of your journey, subscribe to the channel. Because here, we don't sell magic formulas. We walk together with our soul, with spiritual truths, with words of healing, with the wisdom of Rumi, not to entertain you, but to remind you who you are. So, take a deep breath, because now, we're going to delve even deeper into this invisible pain, the one that nobody sees, but it consumes you every day. Let's understand what's really behind this emptiness that steals your joy. Are you ready? Have you ever felt that everything that once enchanted you now only bores you? That even the things that once warmed your heart, that made your heart beat faster, now seem distant, opaque, as if you were watching your own life from behind a foggy glass? Nothing fills you. Not people, not places, not even the achievements you swore would make you happy. You still breathe, but you don't live. You still smile, but you don't feel. It's as if something has been extinguished inside you. A glow, a light that you don't even know when it went out. But you know it's no longer there, and that scares you. Because on the outside, everything is okay. You're working, fulfilling your obligations, answering messages, posting photos. But inside there's an emptiness that no one sees, an absence of meaning, a kind of inner silence that isn't peace. It's disguised despair. You try to fill that void with distractions, social media, TV series, shopping, partying, sex, but none of it lasts. None of it holds up, because what you've lost isn't outside. What's missing is yourself. Some people call it existential boredom. Others say it's burnout. Some say it's depression. But what if it's none of those things? What if it's something more subtle, deeper, more spiritual? Rumi said, "You were made of soul, and you're trying to feed on things that have no soul. That's why you're exhausted, because you're trying to stay afloat with fake emotional fuel, feeding your spirit with distractions, when all it wants is truth, depth, silence, meaning." Perhaps you are experiencing what many call the dark night of the soul, a time when nothing external satisfies you, because it is your inner self that cries out for attention. It's as if your soul is knocking on the door of your heart, asking to be heard, to be seen, to be remembered. But you're so busy trying to look good that you ignore that call. You pretend everything is under control. You pretend it's just a phase, that it will pass. But the truth is, this has already lasted too long, hasn't it? You feel like you're dragging yourself along. And the worst part is, you feel guilty about it, as if you don't have the right to feel this way because you have everything, as if happiness were an obligation, and feeling empty, a personal failure. But that's a lie. You're not broken. You're just disconnected. Disconnected from your essence, from your spirituality, from your purpose. And that's the real, invisible problem. Most people live for years, decades, without realizing this. They think they need more success, more love, more beauty, more followers. But the pain they carry isn't healed by more. It's healed by less. Less noise, less rushing, less mask, more presence, more listening, more soul. Perhaps you're feeling this right now. A feeling of being lost, even knowing exactly where you are. A silent anguish that hides in the subtext of your daily life. You even try to cheer yourself up, try to get excited about something new. But deep down, you already know the effect will pass, that the euphoria is just makeup covering the hole. Because the truth is, nothing on the outside will bring you joy while the inside remains silent. Rumi said, "Sadness prepares you for joy. It violently sweeps everything out from within you, so that new joy can find space to enter. But if you don't understand this sadness, you fight against it. You try to silence it, hide it, pretend it's not there. And it's in this effort to escape the pain that the pain transforms into emptiness. Because all ignored pain becomes a hole. You feel like you're alone, but you're not. Many people feel exactly that, but they don't know how to put it into words. So they just shut down. They isolate themselves. They become functional, but emotionally absent. And the world applauds the performance, even though inside these people are slowly dying. You might be one of them. But here, you don't need to pretend. Here you can be real. Here you can say, yes, I'm feeling this, because admitting it is already the first step. Not to run off to the solution, but to, for the first time, stop running away. The soul senses when you stop running. It begins to whisper things you haven't heard in a long time. It begins to reveal pains you've hidden even from yourself. It begins to show what was forgotten in the process of being too strong. You learned how to survive, but you forgot how to live. And living isn't about being busy. Living is about being whole. And perhaps you're realizing this now. Realizing that the joy that vanished wasn't stolen. It simply fell silent when you stopped listening. And this silence you feel, it's not emptiness. It's sacred. It's an invitation to return home, inward, to the soul. If you've made it this far, tell me, does this make sense to you? Write in the comments, I feel this silence inside me. Or simply, I disconnected, but I'm coming back. These words are not for me. They are for you. They are declarations of return. And perhaps, just perhaps, that's what your soul was waiting for. The emptiness you feel isn't about the world. It's not because work is difficult or because relationships aren't flowing or because routine is suffocating. All of that may be happening, but it's not the root of your pain. The real pain, the deepest pain, is spiritual. It's about what you lost of yourself along the way, about the parts of your soul that you had to silence to be accepted, about the pieces of yourself that were left behind every time you molded yourself to fit what others expected. You adapted so much that you forgot what it was like to fly. And this is much more common than you imagine. Many people walk around with their bodies whole, but their souls in pieces. People who don't realize that the sadness they feel doesn't come from outside. It comes from a disconnection from who they truly are. It comes from the profound silence where poetry once resided. It comes from abandoning their own essence. Rumi said, "You were born with wings. Why do you prefer to crawl through life?" But the truth is, nobody chooses to crawl. We just learn that flying isn't safe, that being too authentic is scary, that feeling too much is disruptive, that showing pain pushes people away. So you start hiding behind controlled versions of yourself. You start living to please, to protect yourself, to survive. And in this process, the price is high. Because you don't just lose the pain, you also lose the joy. You lose the magic. You lose the connection with your soul. The modern world doesn't teach you to care for your soul. It teaches you to perform, to produce, to adapt. The soul has no place in quarterly goals. The soul doesn't fit into 15-second stories. It's slow, deep, silent, and that's why it's often ignored. But when you ignore the soul, it doesn't disappear. It retreats. It whispers. It creates emptiness. And when you don't listen, it screams, not with words, but with anxiety, apathy, chronic sadness, insomnia, unexplained anguish. It's its way of saying, "Hey, I'm still here and I need you." The spiritual root of your emptiness is simple to understand but difficult to face. You stopped being who you are. You stopped listening to your truth. You stopped feeling yourself. And that's not your fault. Life pushes us all away from our souls. But there comes a point when the pain of remaining disconnected becomes greater than the fear of rediscovering yourself. Perhaps that moment is now. Perhaps that's why you're here, listening to this, feeling each word as if it were written for you. Because that's how the soul reacts when it finds something true. It vibrates. It remembers. And perhaps, even without realizing it, it's trying to open itself again. You weren't born to live numb. You didn't come into this life just to fulfill roles, pay bills, and follow patterns. There's something deeper within you than that. Something that can't be bought, conquered, or validated by likes. Something only you can access. But perhaps you've forgotten how. It's as if there's a temple inside you, a sacred space where your purest essence resides. And this temple has been closed off, walled up, forgotten, while you've become functional. But it's still there, waiting. And the key is to start listening to yourself again. When was the last time you listened to your soul in silence? I'm not talking about thinking about life. I'm talking about feeling, about sitting with what hurts, about allowing emotions to come, even the most uncomfortable ones. Because it is there, in the midst of the pain, that the truth resides. And it is only through truth that healing happens. You no longer feel joy because you've distanced yourself from your own life source. And joy isn't something you seek outside yourself. It's a symptom of misalignment. When you're connected to your essence, it arises naturally. But when you're disconnected, it disappears. No matter how hard you try to force it. You can be surrounded by people but feel alone. You can be achieving goals but feel lost. You can be successful but feel like a failure. Because success without soul is just another elegant form of despair. The spiritual root of your suffering is this: you have forgotten yourself. And now, everything within you cries out for a return. Not a return to the past, but a return to the center, to what is true, to what is eternal. You don't need to fix yourself. You need to remember. And that begins with recognizing that this pain has meaning. It's not there by chance. It's a call for a reunion. A reunion with everything you tried to bury, with everything you were forced to forget, with everything that still lives within you, waiting for your permission to bloom. The soul is patient but not indifferent. It waits, but it feels. And if you are here, now, feeling this vibration in your chest, perhaps it is because it is trying to reach you. Perhaps even among so many external voices, you are finally ready to hear your own. Don't ignore this. Allow these words to penetrate where no other could reach. Let your soul manifest itself, even in tears, even in silence. Because it is in this movement of listening and feeling that the path begins to reveal itself. You don't need answers right now. You just need presence. You just need to allow yourself to return, little by little, to yourself. Because there, deep down, where your essence resides, joy still lives, just forgotten, but alive. If this resonated with you, Leave a comment below. I'm remembering who I am. Or just write, my soul is awakening. These words are seeds. And when you write them, something begins to germinate inside you. Tell me, what made the most sense to you in all of this? What does your soul most want to tell you now that you've started listening to it again? Nobody told you this, but joy hasn't disappeared. It's still there, silent, intact, but buried under layers of unfelt pain, repressed emotions, and poorly concluded stories. Joy hasn't abandoned you. It has simply hidden behind your resistance to feeling. And perhaps you don't even realize you're resisting. Perhaps you think you're just being strong, just moving forward, doing what needs to be done. But the strength you've learned to have was built upon a profound denial of your pain. You no longer feel pleasure because without realizing it, you've been numbing everything that hurts. And the problem with numbing yourself is that you don't choose what you feel or don't feel. When you close yourself off to suffering, you also close yourself off to joy. And that's why everything seems lukewarm. That's why nothing truly moves you. That's why your laughter doesn't echo like it used to. That's why beauty no longer overwhelms you. It's a natural human mechanism to flee from pain, to reject discomfort, to repress what isn't nice to feel. But there's a price for that, and you're paying that price with the inner silence you feel now. With this apathy that has taken over your days, with this disconnection that makes you feel like a stranger in your own life. You protected yourself so much that you lost yourself. But there is a key, a hidden key that no one has shown you. And that key isn't in yet another self-development technique, nor in yet another motivational video. That key isn't in control, it's in surrender. It's in letting it hurt, in making space so that what you've been avoiding can finally be seen truthfully. Pain is not the enemy of the soul. It is a teacher. It is a guide. It is a portal. It only hurts so much because it is asking for passage for something that has been trapped for too long, something that hasn't been allowed to exist, a part of you that was silenced and now cries out for life. And you need to know this. As long as you continue trying to control what you feel, you will remain numb. And as long as you are numb, you will remain distant from true joy. Because true joy isn't euphoria. It isn't distraction. It isn't momentary relief. True joy is presence. It's a lightness that is born after the journey, after you allow yourself to feel what needs to be felt, after the pain is embraced, not denied, after the soul finds space to breathe again. Rumi said that the wound is the place where the light enters you. But if you keep trying to cover the wound, how will the light enter? How will the soul reveal itself if you keep it locked away for fear of suffering again? This fear, this resistance, this effort not to feel, that's what keeps you trapped. It's not the pain itself, it's the escape from it. You think you need to be strong, but perhaps your greatest strength right now is allowing yourself to break. Because when the soul cracks, that's when it begins to breathe. That's when the armor falls and the light enters. That's when joy, the kind that doesn't depend on anything external, begins to emerge from the depths. Because it was always there. It just needed space. You need to understand this with your heart. Suffering only persists when you refuse to go through it. As long as you fight against it, it remains. As long as you ignore it, it disguises itself as dissatisfaction, as tiredness, as apathy. But the moment you stop, breathe, and say, yes, this hurts, something changes. You take a step towards healing. And no, this doesn't mean wallowing in pain. It means stopping the escape. It means creating a safe space within yourself to feel what needs to be felt. It means treating your pain with dignity, with presence, with courage. You may have learned that feeling is dangerous, that feeling is weakness. But the truth is, there is nothing stronger than a human being who feels fully. Nothing more powerful than someone who honestly traverses their own darkness, because that person returns whole. And that's what the soul wants. Wholeness, truth, space to be what it is. Maybe you're tired, exhausted from fighting so much. And if that's the case, if you're at your limit, maybe it's the right time to let go, to stop trying to control everything, to stop pretending you don't feel, to simply allow. The key is not to resist. The key is to cross over. The key is to open up the soul, to open up the emotions, to open up the memories, not to suffer more, but to truly live, to feel again. So that joy, which is your birthright, can return to your body, to your life, to your story. And it may be that in doing so, tears will come. It may be that old emotions will resurface. That's okay. It's part of the process. The pain doesn't want to destroy you. It wants to be felt, to finally transform. The pain wants to become a bridge between the wounded soul and the soul that is ready to bloom. If you've made it this far, you've already begun this process. You're already going through it. You're already allowing the light to enter through the cracks. And even if you're still confused or afraid, know this. This is the way. One step at a time. One feeling at a time. One reunion at a time. Now I want to invite you to a moment of presence. Close your eyes for a few seconds. Take a deep breath and feel. Feel your body. Feel your heart. Feel what is alive inside, even if it hurts. Because it is in this feeling that you rediscover yourself. That is where healing begins. And if these words touched you, if this video is somehow helping to open that path within your soul, share it with me in the comments. Write it like this: I'm learning to feel again. Or if you want to be even more direct, the key was within me all along. These words, written with intention, can be more than just phrases. They can be declarations of transformation. Tell me, how are you feeling right now? What have you realized about your pain and about your own capacity for healing? Perhaps you're really in that phase where everything seems gray, where the days pass, one after the other, like scenes from a movie you've seen many times and lost interest in. You wake up, get up, make coffee, get ready, work, talk to people, answer messages, post something. But inside you, there is complete silence. Not a calm silence, the kind that comforts, but a silence that weighs you down, that suffocates you. A spiritual silence that seems to echo a nameless void. You are living, yes, but you are not feeling. You are physically present, but absent from yourself, as if you left your soul somewhere along the way. And since then, everything has become opaque. Everything has lost its flavor. You look at the sky and remember when a sunset would bring tears to your eyes. You remember when a song would make you cry in the middle of the street, when you were moved by simple things, when the world seemed magical, even on difficult days. But now, none of that happens. It's not that you're not trying. You are trying. You try to distract yourself. You try to force yourself to feel. You go to different places, buy new things, experiment, change your hair, change your feed. But it seems like nothing reaches that place inside you that used to be alive. Nothing gets there. Nothing touches your soul. And you start to wonder, what's happening to me? Why do I feel this way? That's when the doubts begin. Is this depression? Do I need help? And yes, it's always important to seek support when needed. But what I want to tell you now is something that perhaps no one has said clearly. What you're experiencing may not be an illness. It may not be a mental breakdown, nor a chemical imbalance. It may simply be called spiritual disconnection. Disconnection from your essence. Disconnection from your truth. Disconnection from your soul. It's as if a fog is covering everything. And this fog doesn't come from outside. It's born when you stop listening to yourself, when you start ignoring your inner callings, when you're too silent to keep up appearances, when you live for others, for roles, for social events, and forget to live for yourself, when you abandon your rituals, your silences, your faith, your connection to what is sacred. And sacred here has nothing to do with religion. Sacred is what reconnects you with what is purest within you. And the most subtle thing about all this is that this disconnection doesn't happen all at once. It sets in gradually. First, you feel tired. Then you start getting irritated by small things. Next, motivation disappears. Sensitivity diminishes. Your heart hardens. Your body feels heavy. And when you realize it, you're already living on autopilot. You're already living a life that doesn't feel like your own, inside a body that carries a silence you don't know how to name. Have you ever felt that way? That feeling of being present, yet absent, of being surrounded by people, yet completely alone, of having good things happening, but not being able to feel any emotion about anything, of looking at your life and thinking, I should be happy, but not being, and not being able to explain why. This is the pain of a forgotten soul, and it won't go away until it's heard, until it's touched again, until you stop pretending everything is all right, and allow the truth to be revealed. And the truth is, You miss yourself. Your more sensitive, more intuitive, more connected version. The one who believed in signs. The one who prayed with her heart. The one who wrote, cried, and was moved by poetry. The one who saw beauty in everything. The one who felt God in the little things. The one who listened to her intuition as if it were an internal compass. The one who thirsted for soul, for depth, for presence. You miss this part, and she misses you. But the good news, and perhaps the only news you need to hear right now, is that she's still there. She hasn't died. She hasn't disappeared. She's simply withdrawn. She's silent, waiting for you to return, waiting for you to step down from this stage that life has placed you on and enter the cave of your being once more, to take a deep breath and say, I am here, and I am willing to listen. You don't need to make grand external revolutions to reconnect. Sometimes a small gesture is enough. A moment of silence with your hand on your chest, a mindful bath, a text written from the soul, a prayer whispered in the dark, a sunset seen in silence, as if it were the last, a heartfelt hug, a permitted cry, music listened to not with the ears but with the whole body, an encounter with yourself. Perhaps you are there, right now, listening to all this, and feeling something awakening, something that is not mental, something that comes from deep within. If that is it, let it come. Let yourself feel it. Don't try to understand it with your head. The soul doesn't speak with logic. It speaks with vibration. And what you are feeling now may be the first sign that it is returning to the surface. Spiritual disconnection may seem like the end of everything, but in truth, it's the beginning of the return. The moment you realize that living without a soul isn't living. And then the search begins, not outwardly, but inwardly. And in this search, joy returns. Little by little, it returns, because it never truly left. It was simply waiting for the moment when you allowed yourself to feel it again. Now tell me honestly, did you recognize yourself in all of this? Do you feel like you're in that gray phase of life where everything seems colorless? If this resonated with you, leave a comment below. I'm returning to myself. Or, if you prefer, write, my joy awaits me on the other side of the silence. These phrases are anchors. When you write them down, you establish an intention, and intention is the first step towards a return. I really want to know, which part of this text touched you the most? What was the truth your soul most needed to hear today? You haven't lost your joy. It still exists. It continues to wait for you, like a flower that hasn't yet bloomed, because it hasn't felt the warmth of your gaze nor the presence of your soul. What you lost, and perhaps didn't even realize, was the bridge between you and it. That bridge that is built with presence, with silence, with truth. That bridge that can only be built from the inside out. Joy is not conquered, not achieved, not forced. It happens when you are whole, when you allow yourself to be in the now, feeling everything, without hiding from anything. And that's where the shift in consciousness begins. The point where you stop looking outside and start looking inside. The moment you understand that what's missing isn't stimulation, adventure, or recognition. It's connection. Connection with your essence, with your spirituality, with your rawest truth. Joy hasn't been lost. It simply ceased to have a safe place to exist. It stopped being welcome in your body when you started rejecting everything that made you vulnerable. When you traded sensitivity for efficiency, surrender for control, emotion for logic, you gradually distanced yourself from yourself in the name of survival, acceptance, and doing the right thing. Until one day you woke up and realized you no longer recognized yourself, that the reflection in the mirror carried your face, but not your soul, that your laughter had become quieter, your eyes more opaque, your touch more distant, that you continue to function, but you have stopped living. Rumi said, "Don't distance yourself so much that you no longer recognize yourself." And when he said that, he was talking about a very intimate, very silent place. A place where the soul still remembers who you were before you needed to hide, before you needed to defend yourself, before you learned that feeling was dangerous. Joy is waiting for you, in the same place where you let yourself go. It's not in a new relationship, nor in a new goal, nor in an external achievement. It's in that instant when you sit in silence, take a deep breath and say, I am here. I have returned. It's in that moment when you touch your own chest and listen to yourself with compassion. It's in the instant when you look at yourself with the eyes of your soul and say, I recognize myself. This shift in consciousness may seem subtle, but it changes everything. It's when you stop resisting what you feel and begin to embrace it. It's when you stop trying to fix the pain and simply allow it to be what it is. It is at this point that the soul begins to reorganize itself. Because the soul doesn't need you to solve everything. It needs you to be present. And perhaps you've never allowed yourself to be so present before. Perhaps your life has always been about running, pleasing, seeking, proving. Perhaps you've never had the space, the time, the silence necessary to simply find yourself. But now, perhaps it's time, because the pain you feel, this emptiness that has been haunting you, is not punishment. It's an invitation. It's a call. It's a sign that something inside you is ready to return. And it is in this return that the bridge begins to be built. A bridge made of small gestures, of mindfulness, of true words, of pauses, of sincere tears, of deep breaths. A bridge that connects your present moment with your sacred self, that connects your mind to your heart, that connects what you live to what you feel, that connects the external to the internal. You begin to realize that you no longer need to run away, that you no longer need to distract yourself, that you no longer need to pretend. The truth is enough, and the truth, even when it hurts, is the only place where joy can flourish, because joy only flourishes in the soil of authenticity. It doesn't survive where there are masks, where there is control, where there is repression, and perhaps, for the first time in a long time, you feel you can return to yourself, that you can lower your guard, that you can breathe more slowly, that you can look inward without fear. Because now you understand it's not weakness to feel, it's not weakness to be emotional, it's not weakness to allow yourself to break. It's exactly the opposite. It's an act of strength, of courage, of self-love. This shift in consciousness is the beginning of everything. The moment you choose yourself, the moment you stop trying to be better and start being more you, more genuine, more present. The moment you trade your armor for your skin, your shield for an embrace, your fear for a sincere gaze. And that's when the joy begins to return. First timidly, then more steadily. Not like an explosion, but like a gentle breeze. Like a warmth in the chest. Like a smile that appears for no reason. Like a tear that falls because finally something within you has been set free. The bridge is being built, and you're the only one who can cross it. Now I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, do you feel like you're building that bridge back to your joy? Write it below. I'm coming back to myself. Or if you want something even more in-depth, my truth is the bridge to my joy. These words are not just loose phrases. They are declarations. They are anchors. And when you write something that comes from the soul, the universe listens. So tell me, what did you realize about yourself while listening to all of this? What does your soul want to remind you of now that you are closer to yourself than ever before? Begin by returning to yourself without haste, without goals, without the obligation to be someone else. Just return. One step at a time, one breath at a time, one memory at a time. Sit on the floor if you can. Feel the floor, the weight of your body, the touch of your skin against the surface that supports you. Realize that you are not falling. You never were. There has always been something supporting you, even when everything seemed to crumble. There has always been a ground, even an invisible one, where your soul rested. And perhaps now, for the first time in a long time, you can feel it. Feel the wind if it passes. Feel the air entering your nostrils, filling your lungs, passing through your chest. Perhaps it's the first time you've truly breathed today. Perhaps it's the first time in days you've given yourself this space. Notice how there is life within you despite everything. How, even amidst the pain, there is movement, there is energy, there is a soul. Allow silence. I know it's frightening. I know that silence sometimes seems too empty, but silence is where the soul speaks. Joy doesn't shout, it whispers. It asks for space. It doesn't invade, it waits. And you've spent so much time surrounded by noise, external voices, demands, expectations, distractions, that you've forgotten what it's like to listen to what comes from within. But it's still there. The capacity to listen to yourself still lives within you. To feel, to remember. Healing begins when you stop running from what you feel, when you stop trying to erase the pain and begin to allow it to reveal itself. Not as something wrong, but as part of your journey, as something that also deserves to be heard. Because within the pain there are messages, there are revelations, there are parts of you that have been denied, silenced, forgotten, and these parts haven't disappeared. They wait, silently, to be acknowledged. Not to paralyze you, but to set you free. You've spent so much time trying to be strong, trying to hold on, trying to support the world. But now it's time to support yourself, to hold your own hand, to say to yourself, I am here. Because true healing begins at that point of presence. At that point where you no longer need to pretend you don't feel, where you no longer need to justify your tears or hide your sensitivity. Perhaps you've never learned that feeling isn't weakness. That feeling is a bridge, that sensitivity is your spiritual radar, that it's through it that your soul communicates, that it's through it that joy returns. Because true joy isn't imposed. It's born when the field is fertile. And the field of the soul only flourishes when there is truth, when there is space for everything that you are, including your shadows, your doubts, your silences. Returning to yourself is returning to what is most sacred within you. It's remembering everything you abandoned in order to be accepted, to be loved, to avoid bothering others. It's embracing your own complexity, your depth, your spirituality. It's accepting that healing doesn't happen in a straight line, that sometimes you will go in circles, you will get lost, you will forget again. And that's okay. Healing is spiral. It goes back and forth. It rises and falls. But with each turn, you are closer, more aware, more whole. Returning to yourself means sitting with your pain and looking it in the eye. It means saying, I see you. I recognize what you carry. I will not abandon you again. It means creating a relationship with your own soul, a relationship that perhaps never existed before, a relationship of care, of listening, of presence, a relationship where you don't need to be perfect, where you can simply be. And when you start doing this, even if it's just for a few minutes a day, everything begins to change. The way you breathe changes. The way you feel changes. The way you see yourself changes. Because now there is presence. There is truth. There is space. And where there is space, there is healing. Where there is truth, the soul flourishes. Maybe you think you need a miracle, something grand, a definitive answer. But sometimes all you need is a deep silence. A safe place within yourself where you can be who you are without judging yourself. Sometimes the miracle is simply being able to be with what you feel, without needing to run away, without needing to understand, just being. Joy doesn't return in a hurry. It returns with intimacy. It returns when you start treating yourself as someone who deserves peace. When you start cultivating small moments of truth throughout the day. When you stop betraying yourself. When you listen to yourself with respect. When you understand that feeling is not something to be solved, but something to be lived. You don't need another version of yourself. You don't need more control. You need more listening, more silence, more soul. You need more moments where you allow yourself to be exactly as you are. Because it is in those moments that life finds its way. It is in those moments that joy, even timid joy, begins to approach. If you're tired of running away, maybe it's time to stop. Not to give up, but to return. Return to your inner self. Return to your truth. Return to the source. The soul has always known the way. You just need to trust. You just need to allow it to guide you. One step at a time. One breath at a time. If this part of the video touched you, if you felt that these words spoke to parts of yourself that were dormant, write it in the comments below. I allow healing through truth. Or, if you feel like it, just write, I return to myself with silence and presence. These phrases are invitations. They are seeds of transformation. They are declarations for your soul. I want to know from you, what touched you most in this passage? What did your soul tell you as you listened to these words? You are not your emptiness. This is one of the deepest and hardest truths to accept when you are in the midst of emotional silence, of the apathy that corrodes from within. Because emptiness has a subtle way of becoming identity. It not only hurts, it convinces. It convinces you that you are insufficient, that you are broken, that something inside you is lost forever. But this is the illusion that pain tells when it finds no space to be heard. You are not your emptiness. You are the one who can fill it with truth, with presence, with soul. Pain doesn't define you. Tiredness isn't all there is. The absence of joy doesn't mean the absence of life. What happens is that when you disconnect for too long from who you are, when you distance yourself from your spirituality, your essence, your purest sensitivity, everything becomes opaque. The soul by nature is made of presence, of inner light, of living silence. But when you no longer give it space to manifest, when you only live for the outside, trying to control everything, trying to protect yourself, trying to maintain an appearance of normality, the light fades, and what remains is this void, a space that cries out for meaning. But the whole isn't you. The whole is just the space your soul left for you to fill with what is real. And that space, despite being frightening, can be sacred, because it's in that space that the invitation resides, the calling, the chance to return to yourself. You feel this because your soul is calling you back home. Perhaps this phrase comforts you, perhaps it frightens you, but the fact is that the silent pain you feel is not punishment. It is a compass. The constant sadness, the apathy, the lack of pleasure in things, the emotional detachment. All of these are ways your soul has found to say, I am here, and I need you. Home, that home your soul calls for, is not a place outside. It is not another city, another country, another person, another job, another lifestyle. Home is you at peace with yourself, you whole, you back on your axis. You present within yourself, and the inner awakening begins precisely at this point, when you stop identifying with what is absent and begin to recognize what still lives within you. Because even in the midst of emptiness, there is still a spark. There is still something that pulsates, however weak, something that wants to return, something that knows the way. Even if you have forgotten, you feel it. Deep down, you feel it. And that's why you're here. That's why you've been listening to this video until now. Because even with all the pain, even with everything that seems lost, there's a subtle call saying, wake up, come back, rebuild the bridge, pick up the thread of your soul again. And this thread is made of truth, not of promises, not of magic formulas, but of presence, of listening, of courage, of sensitivity. The soul doesn't awaken with noise, with speed, with haste. It awakens with silence, with surrender, with acceptance. It awakens when you stop running from yourself and finally begin to find yourself. And in that encounter, you begin to realize that there's something within you that never truly left. Something that was always there. A spark, a light, a presence. You realize that beneath the layers of pain, fear, adaptation, and performance, you still exist. The true you. The you that feels, that vibrates, that desires, that connects with the invisible, the spiritual you, the you in its purest state. And it is this you that is waking up now, that is stretching within the soul, that is realizing that you no longer need to pretend, nor protect yourself so much, nor hide. It is this you that is beginning to see beauty again in simple things, that is moved by a song, that falls silent before the sunset, that feels a lump in your throat before a memory. It is this you that is resurfacing. Inner awakening isn't something that happens abruptly. It's like dawn. It begins with soft shadows, a discreet light, an almost imperceptible warmth. But little by little, it illuminates everything. It reveals forgotten inner landscapes. It shows that within you there is an entire universe waiting to be inhabited again. Yes, this process is uncomfortable, because to awaken the soul, it's necessary to let go of everything that kept it asleep, of all the stories you told yourself, of all the masks, of all the characters you created to survive. It's necessary to make space. And making space hurts. It hurts because it demands surrender, it demands yielding, it demands detachment. But at the same time, it's a sweet pain, a pain that comes with meaning, a pain that reveals, that transforms, that prepares the ground for joy to return. Not the euphoric, artificial joy that fades quickly, but the silent, profound joy that is born when you are whole, when you belong to yourself, when you live from the soul. And this process is yours. Only yours. No one can do it for you. No one can wake you up. No one can take you to your essence. But what I can do, and what this video is trying to do, is remind you that this is possible, that this is real, that this path is right there now, before you, waiting for you to say yes. Yes to feeling, yes to returning, yes to allowing life to touch your soul again. If you felt at any point in this conversation that something within you was awakened, Comment below, "I awaken to my soul." Or write, "My home is the silence where I find myself." These phrases are like keys. They are not just words. They are affirmations that activate, that bring light, that solidify your intention to follow this path. And tell me, what did you discover about yourself while listening to all of this? What was the moment during this passage when your soul spoke to you the most? The soul has a hidden place where sorrows are transformed into light. Rumi. And perhaps that is the truth you most needed to hear today. Because no, you are not broken. No matter how it seems, no matter how gray the days have become, no matter how much the pain feels like a weight that won't go away, perhaps you are simply in the process of rebirth. And rebirth, contrary to what some say, is not beautiful, nor quick, nor smooth. Rebirth is a silent, profound, often solitary process. It's a dive into layers you've spent years trying to avoid. It's traversing shadows you've learned to hide even from yourself. Rebirth requires pausing. Rebirth requires listening. Rebirth requires dying to what no longer serves you. And that hurts. Because attachment is human. Because even the versions of yourself that hurt you offer comfort. Because they are familiar. The mind resists. The body resists. But the soul whispers. The soul pushes you towards transformation, even if you are still clinging to the ruins of what once was. And it is on this threshold, between the pain of letting go and the fear of starting over, that rebirth is born. Perhaps what you're feeling now isn't an end. Perhaps it's just the echo of the cocoon opening from within. The caterpillar doesn't know it's turning into a butterfly. It only feels that everything is falling apart, that everything is dark, uncertain, out of control. But the truth is that the soul never falls apart. It transforms. And darkness, however cruel it may seem, is fertile ground for this transformation. It is there that the soul retreats, regenerates, reconnects with what is essential. How many times have you felt like this? Lost, empty, disoriented, and thought you were falling, when in reality you were just being guided inward? How many times has pain forced you to stop, to look, to feel? How many times has sadness pulled you away from superficiality and placed you face to face with yourself? That hidden place Rumi speaks of, where sorrows transform into light, is not outside. It's not in someone else. It's within you. And access to it isn't through pretty words, nor through escape, nor through denial. It's through presence, through the courage to cross over, to accept that perhaps, at this very moment, your soul is reorganizing itself to lead you to a new version of yourself. A more whole, more awakened version, more aligned with your truth. Yes, it's uncomfortable. It's strange. Because rebirth doesn't just bring relief. It brings grief. Grief for the person you were. For the dreams that no longer fit. For the bonds that no longer make sense. For the old way of living that needs to be left behind. And you feel like you're losing something. But in reality, you're making space. You're creating the internal structure to support the lightness that will come. It's like cleaning a temple from the inside. You remove the old furniture, sweep the floor, turn off the old lights. It gets dark, it gets empty, it gets silent. But it is in this silence that the soul finds the necessary space to place new altars, to light new candles, to rededicate itself to what truly matters. Perhaps you can't yet see what is being born. Perhaps all you can feel now is absence. And that's okay. Rumi also said that what you seek is seeking you. The light also seeks you. Joy also wants you back. Your soul knows the way. It knows when it's time to die to be reborn. And you are in that exact moment. You may feel like you're at the end, but your soul knows you're at the beginning of a new breath, of a new cycle, of a new meaning. It doesn't matter how many times you've fallen. It doesn't matter how many parts of you had to fall apart for you to get here. What matters is that, despite everything, there is still life in you. There is still potential light. There is still a spark, waiting for the breath of your presence to become fire again. And that fire is no longer the same, because now you know what it's like to feel empty. Now you know what it's like to lose yourself. Now you understand the value of presence, the importance of looking inward, of listening to yourself deeply, of allowing the soul to be the center and no longer what comes after all obligations. Your rebirth doesn't need to be grand, it needs to be genuine. It needs to come from the soul, not the ego. It needs to happen in the time of your sensitivity, not the rush of the world. And even if no one sees it, even if it's invisible to the eyes of others. You will know, because you will breathe differently. You will feel the world with different eyes. You will once again be moved by the simple things. You will recognize yourself in mirrors that previously caused you strangeness. And when the pain returns, because it always returns in cycles, you will no longer despair, because you will know, this is also part of it. This is also sacred. You will remember that you have already been reborn once. You will trust. You will breathe. You will surrender again, because this is the path of the soul, to be reborn whenever necessary. And each rebirth is more complete, lighter, more true. Now tell me, honestly, do you feel you are in the process of being reborn? If this part touched your soul, write in the comments, I am being reborn. Or if you want something even more intimate, share, my pain is transforming into light. These words are not ready-made answers. They are declarations from the soul. Tell me, which part of this process are you experiencing right now? Which phrase resonated most deeply with you? I am here, listening to you, in the same space where pain begins to turn into light. You don't need to run outside. And perhaps that's the most disconcerting and at the same time most liberating revelation of this entire journey you've been on. Because while you run, while you keep yourself busy, distracted, demanding of yourself, pressuring yourself, you distance yourself. With each attempt to seek outside what is born only within, you reinforce the idea that you need to complete yourself with something external. And that's where the disconnection grows. Because there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that the world can offer you that will replace what your soul longs to rediscover. Yourself. Yes, it's a return. And a return is always quieter than an escape. A return is made of slow steps, of pauses, of presence. You don't need to go faster. You don't need to know the final destination. You just need to listen again, to breathe consciously again, to look deeply again at the details of your day, at the signs of your soul, at the subtleties that previously went unnoticed. Perhaps you have believed for a long time that the answer lay in achieving more, in changing your environment, in becoming someone better, more productive, more acceptable. But the soul does not operate in those languages. The soul doesn't want you to be more. The soul wants you to be whole, to be present, to be at peace, and everything you seek is within. It's in that place where the mind ceases and feeling begins, where performance gives way and truth takes shape, where you don't need to impress anyone, justify anything, or maintain any image. What you seek, that peace, that lightness, that meaning, that fullness, is in a space within you that may have been neglected, stifled, forgotten, but it's there. It always has been. You may have gotten lost. You may have believed the external voices that said your sensitivity was weakness, that your pain was an exaggeration, that your search was an illusion. But you are here now, listening, feeling, opening yourself up, and that means you've already started to come back, that something within you has already remembered the way. True joy, the kind that doesn't depend on anyone, that isn't broken by life's winds, that remains even on gray days. That joy is a rare flower, and rare flowers don't grow just anywhere. They don't thrive in hostile environments. They don't withstand haste, denial, or excessive noise. This flower only blooms in the soil of an awakened soul, in the inner space that you prepare with care, with listening, with love. And the awakened soul is not the perfect soul. It is the soul that feels, that lives, that accepts, that allows. The soul that knows that everything is part of it, the pain, the silence, the highs and lows. The awakened soul is the one that is present within you, even when everything around seems to collapse, because it knows that the center is inside, that the home is internal, that the truth is revealed when you stop running away. You may have forgotten all of this, but now you remember. And it's not an intellectual memory. It's a memory that comes from within, a memory of the soul, a vibration that you recognize even if you can't explain it, something that says, it's this way, it's inside. And when you listen to this with your heart, everything begins to change. Not because the world outside transforms, but because your inner world gains new light. And this light, little by little, begins to illuminate what was dark. It begins to show that there was life in the cracks, that there were flowers in the wounds, that there was poetry in the pain. Because where there is soul, there is the possibility of rebirth. Where there is soul, there is beauty even in chaos. Where there is soul, there is a path. Perhaps you're listening to this silently, in a corner of your room after difficult days. Perhaps you're feeling tired, exhausted, discouraged. Perhaps you can't even believe there's a way out. But let me tell you with all my affection, you are not alone. You never were. What happened is that for so long you disconnected from yourself, that you forgot what it was like to be your own company. But the soul is there, and it doesn't give up on you. It will always find a way to get your attention, whether with a persistent emptiness, a phrase that moves you, or this video that found you at the right moment. You don't need to rush anymore. You can stop, breathe, look inside, and little by little, prepare the ground for that flower to grow. Because it will grow, in its own time, at its own pace, in its own way. And now that we've come this far together, that we've traveled this road of words, truths, and silences, I want to invite you to one last gesture, one last connection before we move on. If this moment was special for you, if something inside you awakened, even just a little, write it in the comments. I am the soil where my joy flourishes. Or, if you want something more intimate, more direct, just say, everything I seek is within. These words are not just empty phrases. They are anchors. They are seeds. They are portals. And tell me, what did you feel while listening to all of this? Which part touched you the most? What have you learned about your journey so far? Write truthfully. This space is yours too, and your soul will thank you for it. If you've made it this far to the end of this video, it's because your soul brought you here. And if your soul stayed, it's because something within you recognized this truth. So before you leave, make this moment a milestone in your journey. And if everything you heard here resonated with you, if this video was a hug, a mirror, an awakening, then subscribe to the channel. Walk with me, because this journey doesn't end here. It's only just beginning, and you don't have to walk this path alone. Leave a like, not for me, but for yourself, to affirm that you choose to continue, that you choose to return to yourself, that you honor the path of your soul. And now if you want to take the next step on this inner journey, watch the video that's appearing on the screen. It continues this soul-to-soul conversation, and it might be exactly what you need to hear right now. The journey is not about feeling again. It's about remembering who you are when you feel everything.